The first time my daughter told me I wasn't invited to her wedding, I thought I'd misheard her. We were sitting at the kitchen table, the same table where I'd bandaged her scraped knees, helped her with homework, and listened to her dreams about finding true love someday. But instead of the joy I'd always imagined sharing with her, she looked at me with eyes full of something I couldn't understand, fear, maybe, or hesitation, and said softly, "Mom, I don't think you should come." My heart stopped. "What do you mean I shouldn't come?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm your mother. I've been waiting my whole life to see you walk down the aisle." She shook her head quickly, like a child trying to hide something. "Please, Mom. Don't make this harder. It's better if you stay away. I don't want you to meet him." Him. The man she was marrying. A man I had never met, never even spoken to, despite them being together for over a year. Each time I'd asked, she brushed it off: he was busy, he traveled a lot, or she didn't want me to judge too quickly. I thought she was just being independent, trying to make her own choices. But now she was shutting me out completely. That night, I cried in my room. 100 questions swirled in my mind. Had I failed her as a mother? Did she feel ashamed of me? Or was there something darker, something she was too afraid to tell me? Still, one thing was certain: I couldn't just stay home and pretend this wedding wasn't happening. Not when my only daughter, my whole world, was about to start a new life. So, I made a choice. If she didn't want me there, I'd go anyway. Not to interfere, not to embarrass her, but to protect her, if she needed me. The wedding day arrived. I dressed simply, nothing fancy that would draw attention. My hands trembled as I stood outside the grand hall, watching guests laugh and enter, dressed in glittering gowns and polished suits. I waited until the ceremony began, then slipped inside quietly, staying in the back row, hidden behind a pillar. When I saw her, my breath caught. She was radiant in white, her smile wide for the crowd, but her eyes, oh, her eyes told a different story. They darted nervously, never lingering on the man at her side. Then my gaze fell on him, her fiancé. He was tall, handsome, confident, shaking hands with people like a man who owned the room. But something about him chilled me. His smile didn't reach his eyes. His grip on my daughter's hand seemed too tight, almost possessive. As the ceremony went on, unease twisted in my stomach. When the vows were exchanged, she stumbled over her words, her voice breaking. He leaned in, whispering something through clenched teeth, and I saw her flinch. My heart shattered. After the ceremony, while the guests mingled, I followed quietly, staying out of sight. That's when I heard it, his voice, low and menacing, in a hallway near the reception. "You'd better behave tonight," he hissed. "Remember what happens if you embarrass me." And my daughter, my strong, beautiful girl, just whispered, "Yes." Tears blurred my vision. In that moment, everything became clear. She hadn't pushed me away because she didn't love me. She'd done it because she was trapped, ashamed, terrified, and trying to protect me from seeing the truth. I stepped out before I could think. "No," I said firmly, my voice shaking but strong. "This ends here." Both of them froze. My daughter's eyes widened in shock, then filled with tears. He turned to me, sneering. "Who are you to interfere? She's my wife now." I looked him straight in the eye. "I'm her mother. And I won't let you hurt her." The confrontation drew attention, family members came rushing, whispers spread, and suddenly the facade cracked wide open. Guests who had seen his temper before began speaking up. One by one, truths surfaced: he had a history, one he'd carefully hidden. And my daughter, for the first time in months, she broke down in my arms, clinging to me like the little girl who once ran home after scraping her knee. She whispered, "Mom, I was so scared you'd hate me if you knew." I kissed her forehead. "I could never hate you. Nothing you do will ever make me stop being your mother." The wedding never finished. The marriage was stopped before it truly began. It wasn't easy after that, there were tears, counseling, rebuilding trust, but slowly, my daughter found herself again. And me? I learned something too. Sometimes, love means stepping back, but sometimes, it means stepping in, even when you're not wanted. A mother's love doesn't always wait for permission, it protects, it fights, and it saves. Because that day, by following my instincts, I didn't just witness my daughter's wedding. I saved her future. Sparkle's moral message for ending. Never ignore the quiet cries of someone you love. Sometimes, silence hides the deepest pain. And sometimes, all it takes is one act of courage to change everything.